welcome Dr. Thiago Felipe Avanci, legal head, lawyer, researcher, and professor of law at several universities in Latin America, South America, and Europe. He's also a member of the advisory board of several artificial intelligence ethics organizations and groups worldwide, such as the International Group of Artificial Intelligence. He's a country advisor, and also he's a member of the advisory board of Global Artificial Intelligence Ethics Institute. He's also a professor of law and a municipal civil servant in Brazil since 2019. He's the scientific editor of the Journal of Liberty and International Affairs in Northern Macedonia since 2021. And I'm happy to host Dr. Thiago today to share his life experience with our colleagues and audience. Welcome, Dr. Thiago. How are you?
Thanks so much for the invitation, my friend, Dr. Ahmed Khalil. Thanks so much for having me here. I'm fine, and I'm so very happy that I can at some point contribute with you, with your audience, with some insights on the life and a general perspective for the younglings that are trying to seek some perspective on the future, my friend. I'm at your disposal as always, and once again, most of all, thank you for your kind friendship.
Great, thank you, Dr. Thiago. I'll start immediately so that we have time to listen to your life experiences. What is the greatest challenge of your life so far?
Oh, my friend, this is a kind of tough question. I don't see a great challenge at all as a great something that so great that I have done, that I have that I have realized at some point. I'm so sorry for the background noise here, but as far as I can see, I can share with you, my friend, that life per se, it's something very, very difficult, something very, very tough in the general sense. This means that if we are trying to seek and pursue something, naturally we must to organize ourselves to have this particular pursuit achieved. This is the first point that I'd like to share. At some point in my life, I needed to work, as everyone at some point will need it, would probably needed to work at some point to sustain yourself. And I try also to doing this work that I usually do since 23 years old, 22 years old. I try to fit at something that I like very much. I like law. I like to be a lawyer, as being a lawyer. I like to teach. I like to perform research and in different places and with different people. And by doing this, I believe everything became a little more easier in some sense. My friend, I can say that there is not a great achievement of my own, but I understand that life is very, very tough, very, very hard for everyone, and to achieve some kind of success in the life, and I mean not just financial success, I mean personal success, it must be some choices must be done, and we must do what we like to do on a greater scale. So to put it in short, the greatest challenge of my life is, I guess, to live, to have my challenges, to surpass them, to overcome them, and all the different activities that I've done. I don't know if you want me to be a little bit more specific on these, and for instance, explaining a little bit of my trajectory, professional trajectory, academic trajectory, or what do you think, my friend?
Sure, go ahead, please.
Yes, as I mentioned, I know that today I am 37, and I guess I became older and older every day. But as I was graduated in law when I was 22, and when I began to be a lawyer in the same age of 22 years old here in Brazil, law school are done by 5 years, or for 5 years of studying. And I became a lawyer, and the life gave me opportunity also to teach. And those two things became something of my own. That some may attributions, may professions. It's tough because when you are 22 years old, you don't know anything about the life. I guess that's the one of the main points that I have, and I can confess this to you, my friends, and to everyone. I was everything that I tried to avoid to be. Today I was so very full of myself at that time. I believed that I knew everything. I believe I could be everything. I could done everything. And life is a tough teacher. And step by step, I tried to achieve some of the challenges on a daily basis. As I mentioned, my friend, I began to serve in my own law firm at this age. It's a lawyer. As a lawyer, I began to work with this, something that I already like it. And 1 year later, when I was 23 years old, I had the opportunity to teach by the first time. And in the same year, I began my master in law studies. I guess everything begins to change when I begins to study in my master in law classes in general, because I realized that I didn't know everything, and that feeling that I know everything, that I am full of myself, was beginning to fade away gradually. And when I ended my master after 2.5 years, I realized that I didn't know everything, and I was much more insecure in general for my knowledge. Experience is something that the younglings, my friend Ahmed, younglings must to understand and must to realize as a great teacher, I guess. Probably as much as we studied on the formal level, probably we will never all this knowledge will never be the same without a proper life spend times do the experience factor, as I mentioned. A little bit later, from my master in law, I began my PhD a couple of years ago, and my postdoc also ended. I ended, I guess, 1 or 2 years ago. in general, we must understand that if you want this for your life, to study it, to develop professional activities, and this will consume your time, you must do something that you like. And I am very grateful that despite the factor that I wake up every morning about 6 a.m. and go to sleep most of the days 1 a.m. at least, I don't have a fantastic 8 hours sleep, but I sleep indeed very, very happy that I could achieve on a day-to-day basis a series of activities on the universities, teaching on the universities, researching on the municipality of Guarujá, in which I am a civil servant, and also on my office, on my legal office, a legal firm. And all those activities consume most of my day, but I enjoy to do this. And actually at some point I am very also dependent on technologies to do this, and I try to use it as the better as much as I can to make my life a little bit more easier, and to perhaps make all those different activities in different locations possible. This is an important factor for me. In short, so do what you like. And doesn't matter if you wake up at 6 a.m. and go to sleep 1 a.m. and sleep 4 or 5 hours a day, by doing what you like, your life will not be so exhausting in general terms. But you must to understand that this can be something very special by doing what you like. Guess that's it, my friend.
Great for sharing. Like I enjoyed what you shared, but two questions come to my mind.
Okay.
The first one is what sources of gaining experience you advise young people to do? Like how would they get experience in your opinion? This is the first question. The second, I will pose the second question after this.
No, this is kind of tough, because I remember when I was much more youngling, as I just mentioned to you, my friend, and I was full of myself, and younglings are full of themselves. It's natural for the young generation, younglings generations, the Padawans of this generation, to be full of themselves. It's quite natural. We were like this at some point in our lives, and they are in the same sense following the same path. The situation is, I believe, the next generations and the following must realize at some point, have a cathartic experience so they can understand how time and experience it's important for defining ourselves in the general context of the societies. This is a very important point, my friend, because time is, as I mentioned, that a tough teacher, and time will show us all that despite you have the best abilities, despite you have the best in general knowledge, you can have a strong and tough knowledge on the certain field in a certain area, and this is not the main point, and this is not a decisive factor that will push you up on the climb of your success life, whatever concept of success that you have. So I guess the cathartic experience comes with, and does the idea of developing yourself and achieving this experience. This cathartic experience will be possible by the younglings doing something that pushes them out of their comfort zone and putting them in a new perspective with perhaps older persons, with older people, with more experienced people. And by doing this, probably this younglings, this young generation will understand what I'm trying to say just right now. The world is not self-centered. The world is not this short. The world is much more, I guess, larger than ourselves, and this is only possible by experience. So take it easy for younglings, take it easy. You can have a strong basis, you can have fantastic abilities, but you can improve yourself by having a cathartic experience. And we usually have this cathartic experience by interacting with older people, more experienced people. I usually, my friend Ahmed, I usually share with younglings and of my students. I usually say to them that you can have now the same amount of knowledge that I have, but you can never have the same amount of experience that I have, because experience comes with time. So take it easy, be patient, look for something to improve yourself outside of your own circle, outside of your own perspective. Put yourself outside of your comfort zone, and by doing this you will naturally improve as a person, improve as a professional, improve as a student, improve as a member of a family. I guess this is a good advice for the younglings in general, my friend.
Thank you for sharing this. I really enjoy the part in which you asked the young people to go beyond their comfort zone, because this is very important.
Yes.
And I agree with you on the part like they can have the same knowledge, but they cannot have the same experience, because there are things that you acquire, but you don't know how you acquired it. It
Yes.
came, you know, like by time and meeting people, interacting, and so on.
You know, my friend, just allowed me to put this. This is why probably the soft skills group of improvements, it's very, very important on a day-to-day basis, more perhaps or even than the hard skills. This is this kind of development that I'm trying to reach out with the young generations is concentrated on the soft skills of the person, and by doing this only with a day-to-day experience, my friend. You're completely right by your thought.
Thank you. My other question, the one that I had like some time ago, with all you know, like this amazing activity that you're doing in at the universities, the business, and even the volunteer aspect. How do you manage your time? Like, what tools, what advice would you give people to be able to manage their time efficiently?
Usually the persons who are with me on a day-to-day basis usually say to me that my day do not have 24 hours, and I am so used to this particular routine, and sometimes it's not healthier, but as can manage it by some point. The first tip that I'd like to share is to do, I just mentioned a few moments ago, do what I like. This is the first question, the first tip. Another tip to improve your time: use as much as you can the technologies on your available to you at the moment. We are here, my friend Ahmad and I, sharing experience through the Atlantic. He's on Africa and I am on South America. We are sharing knowledge and experience by a fantastic technology. Technology is our friend when you are able to use it in a good way. I guess this is important tip. Is important if you are able to understand the needs and understand what technologies can do for you. When you put one another together, the result usually is amazing. The third tip to manage your time, to manage your day-to-day routine, is to do not postergate your activities. Do what you must do at that precise moment. The fourth, it's not kind of a tip, but it's more like a shock of reality for everyone, but in special for the ones who are not usually to the day-to-day routine of work and demands of the work. Life is not just fun, unfortunately, for everyone, and for me as well. Life is not just fun. So at some point you must work, and you must also to let go some activities that you like. It's a thing, and you must to deal with that. The problems will not solve themselves, and you must to face the problems. Do it by doing very efficiently, quick, and very efficiently in a way that the problem will be solved. And I guess it's a good tip, but you must at some point understand that some leisure time, some fun time will not be possible in all the moments of your life, unfortunately. So in short, if you must work, and do not play video games, do not play, go in a walk, or go in I don't know, in a nightclub or something like that. You must work, so work. In general, my friend, it's possible to manage all those pleasures of life with a full day-to-day work routine, but it's not a full non-stop party. There is a meme, Ahmed, that we usually see on the internet, that at least here in Brazil it's quite common, that everyone wishes to be an adult, more than 18, so they can have the world. And in general, this is the first point of the meme. And the second point of the meme: when you are an adult, you realize that you cannot do whatever you want whenever you want. And this is the tough through, my friends, in general. I work so much because I like it, and I work so much because I want to have some free time whenever and wherever I can. And this will come with the success that I just mentioned to you on my previous answers. So, in general, use technology for your favor, use your personal skills for your favor, you organize yourself organize your free time, organize your leisure time, do not postergate your activities. All these combined, I guess, the day will stretch out more than 24 hours, as everyone mentions to me, my friend. This is, I guess, the general idea. Manage your time.
This is great. I agree totally, you know, like about what you mentioned, especially that when we're adults, you know, like we discover what happened, you know, in our lives, but it's like, you know, paying, saving your time, like you're working more to save more time that you can use later on, just like saving money. It works the same way.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, and I'm very happy to have you today on the Lighthouse to share your experiences. It was much insightful, and I'm sure that a lot of the young generation will make use of it, because every one of us needs to be reminded about the realities of life. So I'm very thankful for you. If you like to add a final remark before we close, go ahead.
Yes, my friend, I'd like also to mention something that came on my mind just right now, and I guess this is a thing that I can notice on the young generations more now than the older generations. As a teacher, I deal with students from, I don't know, 17, 16 years old to, I don't know, I had students to 85 plus maybe more years. So I can notice some particular comportment, particular activities on a certain type of more youngling ages if I compare with older persons. But in general, the technologies have show us some amazing, how great and amazing is the world. But I can notice also, my friend Ahmed, and especially for the ones who cannot and do not understand life as it is, tough and full of complicated things, as we adults just realize. But as I mentioned, my friend, the great point that I'm trying to have here is, do not mistreat someone on the real life and on online. This is something that I usually try to share with the persons in general, when the younglings are very susceptible to by doing this. Because when you do not understand and do not interact with someone face to face, and face to face, I mean in the real deal, you intend to perhaps lost the perspective of that on the other side of your screen. There is someone like just like you. So you usually offend, you usually misbehave to this someone, you usually be prejudice, externals, some prejudice to this someone. Stop doing this, man. On the other side of the screen, on the other side of your screen, is also someone who can perhaps suffer. And once again, these young generations that are much more attached to the electronic gizmos, perhaps than the older generations, they lost at some point the contact and their places on the reality. We are dealing all the times with human lives, and we must respect everyone. Doesn't matter if it is on a face-to-face interaction or is on online with a screen, with a text. interaction. Doesn't matter. Don't be someone that do something that you do not are willing to receive the same thing when it's you who is getting offended. Okay, try to be someone nice. And these, once again, are kinds of soft skill that are much needed, and probably they will get improved with the time and the mentioned experience, my friend. That's the final tip that I'd like to share with you and with everyone who is watching this just right now. But this is the general idea. I don't want to curse here, but don't be someone, if you understand, don't be someone that you do not want to be mistreated. Okay?
Great. I agree with you because, like studies show that with the emergence of social media, people are the bullying, the percentage of bullying against people, it increased because people find it easier to like bully people when they are not present. So this is a good advice, the one that you gave. I thank you very much for all the knowledge and experiences that you shared with us tonight on the Lighthouse, and hopefully meet you on other events as well in the near future. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Thiago. Thank you.
Thank you once again, my friend, for having me here. Thank you once again for letting me share some, I don't know, thoughts of my life. I don't have a very interesting life, but I can try to manage to share something that I have achieved with time. This is more important than everything. Achieve knowledge by experience. Thank you once again, my friend. I hope to see you in person or online at some point of our lives on the near future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.